hello, and good time zone friends, and what is up, gamers? Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Hope you are having the wonderfulest of wonderful Thursdays. And it sounds crazy to say this, but beware genuine spoilers for Silksong ahead. So if you're trying to go into the game 100% wholly unspoiled by any previously released footage, screen caps, that kind of promotional materials of any kind, I am going to have to let you know that the prompt for today's artwork for Hollow Knight Art Month was Silksong, and this artwork is inspired by a clip that we did see in a recent Nintendo doodad announcing that the game is definitely for sure coming out this year for real this time. It's not going to seem like I mean it, but I promise I do. So I'm switching over to art camera now, so if you don't want to see, you might want to just tab away and listen in, or cover the screen with something so you can still see chat. I don't know. Anyways, before I do, just to maintain the suspense for a little bit longer, hello to the folks in chat. It's lovely to see you. I hope you're having wonderful Thursdays. I hope you've had wonderful, wonderful weeks so far. How are you doing? Hello, Dan, who says, excited for Silksong preview stream. It kind of is in a manner of speaking. And also, hi, I hope you are well. It's so good to see you. Welcome in. Mesh, thank you so much for the hydrate right up top. Let me grab a sip of one of my cups of tea. I do have two. Sippy paint water. I'm not sipping my paint water. I'm sipping my tea. It is lemon and ginger. With just a little bit of honey. It's so nice. Anyways, okay. I think that was enough of a spoiler warning alert. I think I can, this is my artwork for today. And I hope y'all like it. Now this may seem like I'm just doing a goof, so I'm going to have to explain. But before I do, hello Dag, welcome in. Lovely to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday, and hi! Welcome in, welcome. Hello. I hope you're having a good one. Anyways, so allow me to explain. Now you might be thinking to yourself, is that Hornet Silksong wearing a little woolly toque, kind of vaguely on her hat, and also a scarf, holding a pair of ski poles with skis on her feet, going zippity zoom down a snowy ski slope with some trees off in the distance. Now you might ask yourself, what the nuts does that have to do with Hollow Knight Silksong? There's no way that that's for realsies going to be in the game, but bear with, because it is kind of... Did I sippy paint water? Asks Mash. I sippied my tea, Mash. I sippied a potable substance that's safe for me to drink. It doesn't contain traces of whatever the hell is in Gansai, which is not made for human consumption. Also, Mesh, thank you so much for the 15th stream steak. Thank you. That's very much appreciated. Paint water now, says Mesh. Now listen, while I appreciate that you've been here for at least 15 streams in a row, that's really cool and kind, and I'm so glad to get to hang out with you here. That being said, that does not give you free reign over what I choose to put inside my body. And I will not be drinking paint water because some of the things in this may not be, safe for human consumption. And frankly, I've already got cramps and I don't really want to exacerbate them. That's part of the reason I'm drinking the ginger and lemon tea. To try and make my crampies not feel so bad. Do I get that right at 20? Say, no one gets that right, Mesh. I've established a boundary, and the boundary is that I shall not be bought so easily as to endanger my own health just for the sake of engagement. No. Anyways, I hope your crampies vanish. Thank you, Mesh. Thank you. No exacerbation here, says Dan. Thank you. Dag says, oh my goodness, I love Hornet. This looks cute. Thank you. I'm hoping it will turn out cute. When we got the prompt Silksong, I was like, do I want to do something? So I've done a Silksong art previously. I think there are still a couple prints of it available in my Shopee if that's your bag. They're a very limited edition, of course, and when they sell out, they sell out. But But that one was, I interpreted Silksong as I just had Hornet sitting on a bench, mending her poncho with some silk thread with a little tin of sewing supplies next to her. And because it's mending day, so she's wearing her like laundry day Dartmouth University sweatshirt. The stupidest thing I've ever done. Anyways, I'm gonna need to look up a photo real quick. Because this is gonna be, and I do apologize, a little bit of, come on Reddit. Okay. This is going to be a little bit of a spoiler. So if you are fully avoiding, once again, if you are fully avoiding any spoilers whatsoever for Silksong, be forewarned. We are about to look at something that may be a spoiler for something that happens in Silksong. I don't know the context of it, and, oh, come on. Here's my Instagram, including some recent things that I've painted for Hollow Knight Art Month this month so far, if that's your bag. My art looks like this. It's real silly. This one, I don't think got a lot of views on Instagram, and it's a shame, because honestly, it's my favorite thing I've done so far this month. It's so stupid, but I just imagine them being a little, like, Regency couple dancing in Pride and Prejudice or something. Okay, listen, anyways. Silksong has slopes, and you can go down them. You can go glide down the inclines, and that feels real good. So, Dan is fully avoiding spoilers. You're fully avoiding spoilers. You know what? That's fair, because I am an arachnophobe. Certain parts of Hollow Knight are very difficult for me. Actually, I think I've kind of desensitized myself to them to a certain extent. I actually get more scared by the tarantulas and the spiders in Animal Crossing. Sometimes in Animal Crossing New Horizons, if you, like, shake a tree to get, like, fruits and stuff to drop out of it, sometimes a little spider will pop down on its little spider thread. Jump scare every time. I hate it. I hate it. This is a wholesome game. It's not meant to scare me. See, also, when tarantulas are just tooting around the ground, especially because the tarantulas will bite and you'll faint. And you'll wake up outside your house and you'll be like, how the hell did I get here? It's not pleasant. Anyways, I'm gonna start with this bad boy, this masking fluid. The usual. I don't know if people like the masking fluid shaky, squishy noises, ASMR, or if I should do it like far away from the microphone so you can't hear it. I'm doing it far away from the microphone so you can't hear it because this isn't the kind of sound that I find particularly pleasant. It's kind of like the equivalent of, oh, so my husband can't stand the sound of like people slurping things, like slurping noodles and that kind of thing. If you're having like ramen or soup or of some kind and you're like slurping it, or, oh, aren't you supposed to like, when you do coffee tastings, you take a spoonful of the coffee from like the cup you're tasting from and you slurp it to kind of aerate it, which allows more of the flavors to kind of open up on your palate. And that's a deeply unpleasant sound. Do a big glug glug noise like you were drinking it, says Stan. Oh, you do not want to drink this. It's so gross. It stinks. And it also hardens to like a nasty sort of rubbery latexy texture when it dries. So, yuck. That's disgusting. Anyways, I shan't do that. I will take a little sip of my tea though. But yeah, anyways. I do apologize for the tiny sip noise. But yeah, when you taste coffee, you're supposed to slurp it. When you eat ramen, you're supposed to slurp it. And my partner has intense misophonia for that particular category of noise. So if there's like, we watch a lot of food videos, but if there's a food video where they're like tasting a lot of slurpy foods, we might skip that one. And actually, I don't know if other like coffee influencers do I don't know if any coffee influencers like other coffee influencers do this, but I know that James Hoffman, when he does videos where he's tasting coffees because he knows that some people really can't stand the slurpy noise. He will publish it with 2 separate audio tracks. One that's just like as is, and one where the slurping sounds have been muted when he's like tasting the coffees. Because some people really can't stand that sound. And you know what? Fair. Dan says, I know at beer tasting you're supposed to take a mouthful and then let rip with the loudest fart you can. That's quite annoying. Oh my god. Like, I can't disprove this because I'm not a beer enjoyer, but that doesn't sound true. That doesn't sound true. Also, that's horrifying. Genuinely horrifying. Anyways, I can see why that would be quite annoying, Dan. Do not recommend. Anyways. Excuse me. Bit of a hiccup there. Hello, Rex. Welcome in. Rex says, I have no idea what the topic is, but I'm so down for some good soup slurping right now. Mesh says, good soup. To be fair, I do love soup. It's always been a minor point of sadness to me that, like, I cannot go out and eat ramen. Because most ramens are made with some kind of... The standard tends to be, like, a pork-based broth. Or you might get, like, chicken broth for, like, chicken ramen situations, right? And then you'll get, like, a vegan ramen situation, but the vegan ramen almost invariably out at, like, restaurants and what have you is made with, like, miso and mushrooms. I'm allergic to mushrooms. So if you're putting shiitakes in your broth, I cannot eat it because my face will swell up and it's not pleasant. So, you know, that's a no from me. But I mean, also ramen noodles are made from, now that I'm thinking of it, ramen noodles are also made from wheat. So I can't eat ramen noodles either. Yay! But I can't have rice noodles. There is an adequate rice noodle soup thing that they have at my supermarket that supposedly is vegan chicken ramen, but it's made with rice noodles, which I appreciate because I can eat those. But also, like, the broth is definitely vegan. There is nothing chicken flavored about it at all. It just tastes like miso, like, soup stock with a little bit of, that's had a bit of spice added to it, like heat. And sesame oil. So it tastes like a nice sesame miso rice noodle ramen situation. It's pleasant. But yeah, anyways. Oi oi Savaloys, says Lino. Oi oi Savaloys to you too. I hope you're having a lovely Savaloy of a Thursday. I don't know why I said that. Anyways. Rex says, it's been like 20 to 23 degrees for the past week or so in the day. But it's 8 and rainy today, so it is soup day. That is a perfect day for soup. And if you want to enjoy soup, I hope you get a chance to enjoy soup. Zucchini noodles, says Rex. Ooh. You know, I do genuinely really like those. They don't really do, they were like a flash in the pan trend in supermarkets here for like a couple of years and then they disappeared again. What I really liked when they were doing the no one wants to eat pasta anymore trend of things like zoodles and that kind of thing, of things that are pasta shaped but are made of vegetables. I really liked, they had these thin slices of butternut squash that were meant to replace lasagna sheets. And like, we loved butternut lasagna. It was so good. I would take those and I would put like tomato sauce and, you know, sort of ricotta and spinach between them and, you know, sprinkle some mozzarella on the top. And then bake the whole thing up. And it was so nice. Like, the squash goes so well with, like, a well-seasoned tomato sauce and a little bit, like, it was so good. And then they stopped making it. And the thing is, could I make that myself? Like, yeah, maybe. But it's very difficult with any of the equipment I have in the house to get nice thin slices of butternut squash. Because it's quite hard to slice. So, like, I can cut it into chunks, I can cut it into thick slices, but I don't feel safe trying to cut it into thin slices. Like, if I try to mandolin it, again, because it's so hard, I'm gonna struggle to not, like, injure myself, right? Or at least make a mess. Turnip, thank you so very much for the lurk. I hope you have a lovely lurk, and thank you for stopping in for lurkies. Rex says they came and went quick in the US too. They weren't bad. They definitely tasted different, but since they also absorbed the sauce flavor much more, which is great. Oh yeah, wholeheartedly. I mean, if I have like the gumption and energy to do it, I love doing like a pasta sauce or like a pasta dish that is full of vegetables. So to make a dish that's like a pasta dish, but it's just a bunch of vegetables in a really good pasta sauce, that's just as valuable to me, because I'm like, yes, more vegetables for my tum-tum. I'm happy with that. Lina says, I'm not brave enough to use a mandolin without one of those chainmail gloves. I don't have one. I do have, like, the mandolin that I own comes with a guard. My partner will not use the mandolin. He is not allowed to use the mandolin because one time he hurt himself real bad and it was real scary and I felt sad. And so now he won't go near it. And very, very valid. That's, yeah, don't get hurt. But equally, having to armor up to go into the kitchen is a little extra. I almost never use the mandolin. I will use it when I don't want to bother having to find the, like, slicer grater attachment on the food processor in order to make coleslaw. And I will use it to thinly slice cucumbers to make Hungarian cucumber salad. And that's about it. If I want, like, thinly sliced, super thinly, like, I don't want to super thinly slice my potatoes ever. If I want, like, semi-thinly sliced potatoes, I can just use a knife for that. That's totally fine. And most other things where it needs to be, like, shredded, I can just use, if I need to grate down a carrot, I'll just use the box grater, right? So there are very limited uses for the mandolin in our house. That being said, if you've never had Hungarian cucumber salad, let me tell you, it is one of my very favorite foods. It's one of those salads that's effectively like a half pickle, in as much as I'm taking cucumbers, slicing them super, super, super thinly, not going that quick on the mandolin. And in fact, one of the nice things about the cucumbers, that for most of I'm not holding it such that my fingertips are getting anywhere near the blades. I am holding the cucumber, how shall I demonstrate? I don't have anything that's cucumber shaped here. Okay, imagine that this is obviously thinner than a cucumber, but I'm gripping the cucumber in my fist thusly, and then shaving it down that way. So, like, not even the meaty part of my hand gets anywhere near. Once I get very close, like this close to the bottom of the cucumber, I just slice it by hand. And that feels a lot safer. Hello, Alba! Welcome in! Hello, how are you? It's wonderful to see you. I hope you're having a lovely day. Hello. Rex says, I want this thing I used a lot when I worked in a restaurant. It was like one of those wall-mounted can crushers, but for veggies. A heavy top and just instantly smash veggies through various sized grids to dice them. So, I think I know kind of the thing, that there is a thing like that. I haven't seen one that's wall-mounted, but you can get a thing that's like, if this is the thing that you're talking about, it's got like basically like a hinge. And there's, there's like a grid of sort of sharp metal blades in various configurations depending on what size you want your vegetable dice to be. You just stick like half an onion on top of it, and then you take the hinged lid, close it down, and then just kind of smack. And then in the bottom of the container, you've got perfectly diced onions. I have seen this. It's very cool. And I would love one. The veggie ones aren't wall mounted. They just look like the can crushers. Ah, yes. Okay. I think we're talking about the same thing, Rex. And they are very cool. And I would love to own one of those. I don't mind doing chopping, but oh my god, that would be so fast. Instead of like cutting my pepper down into cubes, I just place like half a pepper down and just go ka-tunk, and I've got, like, yeah, those things are amazing. I'm not a huge gadget owning household. Has this dried? No! Oh shoot, it's still okay, it's still tacky. I need to... Okay, we're gonna move slightly onto tomorrow's artwork, in as much as I'm gonna mask off these little guys too. From the junk pit, which is tomorrow's word. Dice a whole veggie in like 3 seconds. There are a lot of things that I would own if I had a larger kitchen. but I just don't feel like I can justify now. And that's one that I think would be really useful, because this household eats a lot of vegetables. We love vegetables. Vegetables are great. We're having asparagus tonight. I'm very excited. I placed an order with a different grocery store today. Because normally when I need to order groceries online, I go through Tesco. But they have, if you order less than 50 pounds worth of groceries, they add a fee of 5 pounds to your order. And then there's also a delivery fee of 3 pounds. So you end up spending an extra 8 pounds to order your groceries, which feels like a lot. Meanwhile, I just placed an order from Waitrose. You have to order, you can't order if you're ordering less than 40 pounds, but the delivery fee is only £2. So I was like, what feels better? And the answer was really concluded by virtue of the fact that Waitrose's website stocks gluten-free Tim Tams, and I wanted to try them. So I did that. And I want to report that for slightly over the regular price of a pack of Tim Tams, you can get, in wheat-free format, and what I'm going to guess is probably very similar to the original Tim Tam biscuit in terms of texture and flavor, a much smaller packet of Tim Tam biscuits. I was like, how big is this packaging? I didn't actually look to see how many grams it was. Maybe the packaging is just more, like, environmentally efficient. I don't know. But, as a small pack of biscuits, Arnotts, I don't know. I understand that I'm a niche audience, and a very small percentage of people in the world are not able to eat wheat. But damn it! Like, I'm still poor. I just want biscuits. Anyways, I use an apple slicer to chop a potato super quick. That's very smart. I should own an apple slicer. Why don't I? I don't know. Anyways, Lionel says Waitrose 40 pounds is about 2 packs of pasta. I mean, hey, listen, if you can eat wheat, you can buy, like, you can buy about 40 packs of pasta from Waitrose. If you can't eat wheat, you can buy about 20. Everything is so expensive to me. I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm sorry to go on about it. It's just because it's only been like the last 6 months of my life that I have to buy overpriced, less good toast bread and pasta. Oh well. Rex says, I heard about Waitrose the other day. James May now stocks his gin there. Does he now? Good for him. I mean, I also don't like gin, but I'm happy for him. Anyways. Okay. Now, I confess, obviously, this is not a screen-accurate depiction of, Silksong. I don't know if you can tell that, but this is not a 100% screen-accurate depiction of Hollow Knight Silksong and its whole vibe. But I may have taken some liberties here. I'm just gonna put that out there, like, full disclosure. This may be a little bit of whimsy being injected here on my part. But I am gonna try and stay true to the vague color scheme of what this area looks to be, and mostly it's kind of gray and blue. There's like a hint of bluishness in the background around this, like, these tufts of what I'm calling snow. This is snow. I don't know what it is in game. Anyways, I have never been into a Waitrose, says Lino. They don't really exist in the Midlands or anywhere north of that. This is very true. There was like one, when I lived in Manchester, there was like one tiny Waitrose, and it may not still be there. It was like one of those like express supermarkets right next to the railway station. And there's a very good chance that it subsequently closed because everyone was like, no, why is everything so expensive here? Which, you know, fair. But as a Waitrose enjoyer, because I live in Oxfordshire and it is a supermarket that we have here, and as I say as a Waitrose enjoyer, I mean more as a person who lives in places where Waitrose is like reasonably easy for me to get to do my grocery shop, and it's kind of better than the other options that I have that are nearby. Turnip says, wait, is there a Waitrose void in the Midlands? There's a bunch in central Scotland. How bizarre. There are some generally like sort of void areas with no Waitroses, Turnip. I can't say where they all are for sure, but there is not a single Waitrose anywhere near where my in-laws live in Leicestershire, for instance. I have not seen a single Waitrose in Leicestershire. If there is one, it's not in a bit of Leicestershire that I ever need to visit. But there's a big Sainsbury's. There's multiple Sainsbury's in Leicestershire. There's I've seen Asda's, I've seen Aldi's, I've seen Lidl's, I've been to Sainsbury's and Asda and I did go to a Lidl in Leicestershire. We like the big Sainsbury's in Leicestershire. I regularly go to there and buy pajim jams at Christmas time. That's like a treat for myself, is that I will get myself pajamies from the big Sainsbury's when we're visiting over Christmas. Usually because I forgot to pack my pajim jams, because that's always the thing I forget to pack because I'm silly. But anyways. Waitrose only builds stores on ley lines and other spiritually rich areas, says Dan, hence nothing in Birmingham. Oh my god. Lino says, look up a map of Waitrose distributions across the UK for a depressing view of wealth inequality across the home nations. I am unsurprised by this. Though that being said, I would say having quite regularly doing shops at you know, Waitrose supermarkets, it's not that fancy. Like, it's not. It has normal food. Though that being said, I had a real nostalgic craving this past, like, fortnight, I would say, for, if anyone is familiar with that, I don't know if they're allowed to call it Parmesan here, because it's like shelf-stable grated cheese that comes in, like, a little can that you shake onto your, like, spag bowl, and that is the parm that I grew up having on my spaghetti. And that is the parm that my husband grew up having on his spaghetti. His family calls it Bam Bam cheese, because sometimes it kind of starts to clump and you have to really bang on the container to get it out. And I love that. I think that's adorable. I've started calling it Bam Bam cheese now. But yeah, they do not stock Bam Bam cheese, which is very disappointing to me, because I have had a craving and I haven't found any anywhere. That may just be a case of more people are just using fresh parm, and Bam Bam cheese just isn't as readily available these days. I don't know. That's the best name for any cheese ever, says Turnip. I love Bam Bam cheese. It's very nostalgic for me. In the last couple of years, I've kind of been reaching back into my memories for some of the culinary delights I grew up with in the 80s, including, like, you know, basically spag bowl with Bam Bam cheese on top. And, what else? Mostly spag bowl with Bam Bam cheese on top. Because a lot of the other things that I grew up eating were, like, Hungarian soups, and I've just always made those anyways. But yeah, I don't know if I've ever had the real parm, says Rex. So Bam Bam is parmesan cheese as far as I'm concerned. I do recommend actual parm as well. My parm trick, because I will use it very sparingly, usually as like a seasoning for pasta sauces. If I'm making like a tomato-based pasta sauce, I'll use it as like a seasoning in the sauce to just grate a little bit in, to give it a little bit of richness and let some of the saltiness come from that. But because I use it so sparingly and I don't really want it to just sit in the fridge for gazillions of years, I know it's like an aged cheese, so it isn't really going off necessarily, but like I would rather like feel like I have some control over it staying a little bit more fresh than that. So I like to keep it in the freezer, because if you're just grating it down, you can just grate it on like a microplane straight out of the freezer, and it's really easy to do, because it's so hard to begin with. I actually find it easier to grate straight out of the freezer than when it's like not frozen. Is that weird? I don't know. Same thing with ginger. I keep my ginger root in the freezer and then just like microplane it. I also don't peel my ginger. I just wash it before I freeze it. Like it literally doesn't matter. You do not need to peel. If you're slicing your ginger, you should probably peel it. If you're like dicing your ginger like matchsticks, you should probably freeze it. If you're like grating your ginger down into something like I'm making aloo gobi this weekend probably. If I'm just grating my ginger down into that, I will just grate it from frozen and it's not peeled, and that's extremely lazy of me, but it makes literally no difference to the end product and it's so much easier. Anyways, but yeah, Parmesan is a reasonably expensive cheese, I think, but I justify the expense of buying a wedge of it that costs like £4 or whatever by the fact that it takes me about 6 months to a year to get through that wedge of cheese because I use so little of it because it's so strong. That like using 10 grams of parm in like a pasta sauce gives it that nice rich parmy flavor, and I don't need more. This needs to dry before I can do any more painting, so I'm gonna look at Junk Pit, which I really debated hard what to do for Junk Pit because a lot of the environment is so freaking detailed. A lot of the environment is so freaking detailed, and I am trying to get through these paintings by doing one per day over the course of a month. I'm trying to economize on detail. I'd better not show you what I'm doing for the prompt Dreamer, because you'll be like, Twitch user Sammy Kelch, you just said you were economizing on detail. And here's what I'm doing for Dreamer. Do you know what these are behind Monomon the Teacher here? Can you guess what's behind Monomon the Teacher? If you said bookshelves, yeah. I hate myself a bit, apparently. Yay! Why am I like this? Anyways, Turnip says, are you drawing bookcases? Ha! Yep. Booka! Says Rex. Yep. Skong! Says Casa. Tis, hold on. Here be Skong. Skong is currently drying, but Skong is present. Anyway, there's always one to go hard on, says Rex. Yes, this is the one. This is the one. Trying to keep things relatively simple for other days. Like, I've got, for the Pale Lurker, I'm literally just doing a portrait of the Pale Lurker, happily holding her little key and feeling like, oh, it's my precious, very, very golemly about it. I'm not going to show you the sketch for Fluke because I think I'm going to redraw it because I think it's stupid and bad. My Quirrell painting is just going to be Quirrell and the little guy having a picnic at the Blue Lake. You know, just gentle, fun stuff. Anyways, back to Lurk for me, since Turnip. I hope you have a lovely remaining Lurk. Looking forward to seeing the final pieces. I hope they'll be okay. I hope they'll be okay. I feel like one of the tangible benefits of posting a piece of artwork every single day is that I don't have the mental and emotional opportunity to like overanalyze what I could potentially do with each piece, and also I don't have the time to like ruminate hard on like, oh man, not very many people liked this one on social media, which I do fall prey to a lot in terms of just getting inside my head about it, which is not a super healthy way to be. I think it's quite hard to avoid. But it doesn't feel good, if that makes sense. So, I'm quite happy when I'm able to do something that kind of forces me to not have to think about that. And this kind of forces me to not have to think about that, which is kind of good, actually. Okay, I'm just again gonna do like a background color, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a combo of turquoise and mint, and I'm gonna do kind of a gradient between the two, so kind of one fading into the other, as 'twere. A lot of this is gonna end up getting covered up by like foregroundy set pieces, anyways. But meh, it's fine. It's fine. Anyways, again, this is a month-long art challenge, so I'm trying really hard to keep things relatively simple, but yeah, is it gonna work? I don't know. Anyways, right, catching up with chat before I put paintbrush down, because Rex says Skong was tough for me. Then Junk Pit took so many tries, way too much detail for Spore to handle. Rex, I absolutely adore the fact that you are recreating the Hollow Knight Art Month prompts using Spore as your medium. That is inspired and so cool. And I never would have thought of that. And I think I love it. I think it's so cool. I can't wait to see what these ones will end up being. Very much so. Dan says, when Sammy has free reign to draw a setting, there's always bookshelves or a picnic. I love that. I can't not be predictable, I guess, to a certain extent. I mean, there's certainly, if there's an opportunity to make it whimsy, I probably will. I've been known to draw my feelings from time to time and get a little bit contemplative or sad, but you know, that can be part of the whimsical world as well. Like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Anyways. Cass says, hey, that's not true. Sometimes it's tea or a coffee shop. I mean, you're right. You're very true. Now I'm sat building an off-brand Lego type manta ray, says Cassa. Ooh, that sounds cute. I love it already. That sounds like fun. Is it quite a large build, or is it like a little creature? I would love to know. But that sounds like a lot of fun. I enjoyed my recent outing in the world of brick building, which you may recognize the fruits of up here, because this is Maple's pumpkin patch and Celeste's observatory. And can I just note that they're having a little tea break together now, which is very sweet. Celeste here is having one of her little cakes, and Maple's having a cup of tea, and they're just chit-chatting about astronomy and other cool stuff. And I love that for them. Anyways. What a cool site. You know, I almost took an astronomy course when I was a university student, and then I didn't. And it's probably for the best that I didn't, because I would have done horribly at it, because I'm not I want to be more science-brained than I am, and like there is stuff, like I understand science-y gubbins, and maybe I could be science-brained if I like applied myself to it, but would I be able to apply myself to it? I don't know. I think I might have the wrong flavor of neurodivergence for that, unfortunately. And also, you know, blah 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 women in STEM. It's it's tough to not be a guy in like the branch of academia that I did my degree in, let alone uh something like astronomy, astrophysics, that kind of thing. Oof. Oof. Do not love my odds of not, anxietying my way right back out of that. So, unfortunate pass. Anyways, I just almost dipped my paintbrush into the wrong color. So we almost got a weird shadow of cornflower blue on this end here, but then I didn't do that, so good job me. I mean, as far as the sciences go, I did minor in psychology, more or less. The only reason that it wasn't like an officially declared minor was that I didn't want to have to take psychology for business. So I took enough courses to qualify for it being a minor, but it's not actually on my, like, document, and, that has never mattered subsequent to my, graduating, so, like, who cares? Anyways. It's a little guy, says Casa. Oh, I love a little guy. I love that for you. That's awesome. Rex says Spore Hollow Knight Art Month has been so much fun. It is so I love your Spore Hollow Knight Art Months. They are so cool. And this has accomplished the goal of being time saving. I think I only have 5 or 6 more days left to do. Oh my goodness, you're that far ahead? Dang. Oh man, God, I wish that were me. I mean, because I'm doing all of these live, I don't really want to get too far ahead of myself, so I'm kind of restricted in terms of that. Though I guess I could front load some of the ones that I know I'm not going to be able to do on stream, because I'm just not going to have time to do them. Like, I could have done Void. This is Void, by the way. These two guys are just hanging out in the Void. The rest of the painting is just going to be black. I wish that were true. There's going to be a lighthouse, like, here. They're looking up at a lighthouse. Because I forgot that there was a lighthouse in the, like, Void section. And I was reminded of it. Thank you, Kirsty, for reminding me of the lighthouse. You know, if there's one other thing that I like to paint from time to time, it's a lighthouse motif. So, yeah. That's happening. Anyways. Right. Cassia says, I have 2 larger Lego kits to do, but I need to wait until I'm home and not cat sitting. That's fair. At least you've got something to do in the meantime. Rex says, you did good for making it through, and you'll never know what will happen unless you try. My sister-in-law has managed to become one of the most advanced in her field of microplastic research. Oh, that's really cool. That's such an important field of research, too. That's amazing. And has flown around the world of climate summits to give talks. Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of researchers that I know, like, that, like, I have to interact with in the professional portion of my life who, are, you know, like, women in STEM and doing some of the most, like, mind-blowingly cool research. Largely to do with, like clinical research, so, like, medical-based stuff. But, yeah, very cool. Anyways, not things I talk about a lot on stream because you don't want to hear about my day job and I don't want to talk about it. But sometimes it's neat. Anyways, Rex says Maggie went all out and is already done. Maggie wins this year. Maggie absolutely is just a gosh damn champion and should feel very proud because that's hecking amazing. I will say last year, so last year I did all of the Hollow Knight Art Month paintings. But because this little creature had a planned trip overseas that was going to be taking place over the final 2 weeks of the month of May, I did the first 2 weeks of Hollow Knight Art Month in the final week of April. And just front loaded them, so I just had a bunch of stuff ready to go for those days, which was a lot of work because I also did all of those off stream, because I didn't want to spoiler them before the actual month started. But yeah, that was that was a busy couple of weeks for sure. Didn't you also do another art challenge too? I did. So it's happening this year as well. There is a Stream Inc. has a prompt list for Doodle Away May, which is a challenge to just do some doodlies. Like, it doesn't have to be a completed artwork, and it can just be a sketch or a doodle or whatever you define as a sketch or a doodle. And there's 4 weekly prompts for this month, and I am going to do them this year. They're going to be very sketchy and very doodly, and that's going to be fine, and I'm not going to compare how, like, incredibly rough and crappy my sketches and doodles are to other people's sketches and doodles, which is what my brain wants to do, which is why I'm real bad at sharing things like sketches and sketching and rough drafts and all that jazz, because I'm like, some people's sketches look like finished paintings to me, and that makes me feel bad about myself, because I have no self-confidence. And that's not good. I'm gonna not care about that, because that's not the point of the challenge. The point of the challenge is to have fun, damn it. Anyways. But I did a bit of that last year as well. It was delightful. So this is I hope it's okay if I share this on stream. This is the little manta ray. Which is heckin' adorable. I love it so much. Oh my goodness. So fresh. Anyways, also, I do recommend checking out, especially if you don't care about Hollow Knight and you want something to do this month, I recommend also checking out even if you do care about Hollow Knight, combine the two, which I have considered trying to figure out how to do, and I am, my brain is not working very well. So I will be doing some more sketchies. But let me get the Stream Inc. prompt list up for you in case you're curious, because it is really stinking cute. And I'm looking forward to doing it also. Here it is. So at the moment, the prompts are windy plus laundry, which I think opens up some very adorable possibilities. And then we have stormy and pale for next week, and then following that, foggy and ship, which I'm already very excited about. And then sunny and ice for the end. Possibly being really hopeful for like a good weather towards the end of the month. It's cold. It's cold in my house today. What's going on? It was like uncomfortably warm last week, and this week it's like, oh, okay, it's cold again. And honestly, I would rather it be cold if I had to pick between the two. Anyways, Casa says there's a new pope. Oh, they did it. They conned that clave, did they? I don't really know anything about the pope stuff, except that I know a bunch of people who saw the movie Conclave that came out last year, and I've seen a lot of memes about it. But congratulations to whoever they are. I hope that they do a good and enjoy wearing big robes and the smell of incense. Because I assume that those are a prerequisite for papalness. Anyways, I thought it would take longer, says Dan. Maybe the cardinals or whoever are just like, yeah, we're done. They did the white smoke bit according to the BBC. Don't know who yet. Oh, okay, interesting. So is this like a gender reveal thing where... Imagine if it was just like a gender reveal thing where it's like, oh, the smoke is white, so the Pope is non-binary. If it was pink or blue, we'd know if it was a boy or a girl. Anyways, I hope for a new Pope Mobile. Ooh, I hope the Pope Mobile is something cool. I hope what if the Pope Mobile was just like roller skates? I don't know. Anyways. The movie Conclave has seen a spike in popularity. I'm shocked. I'm shocked and stunned. Apparently it's quite good. I saw trailers for it and I was like, this is very Catholic. Cool, okay. He's announcing it at St. Peter's Square. That'll delay the trams tonight. Aw, jeez. That's a tram stop I used to catch a lot. That's where I would get the trams back to where I lived when at the end of the night when I would go see comedy shows on Tuesday nights in Manchester. That comedy night is still running. I gazillion times recommend it. If you're in Manchester on a Tuesday night, go see XS Malarkey. There's always good comics there, and it's really cheap also. You should do that. Anyways, there'll be a new Pope Mobile because apparently, Pope Francis decreed his be turned into a mobile clinic for Gaza. Thank you, Francis. Anyways, rad. We're gonna BRB. Because there's about to be ads. And it's unskippable. So unfortunately, I have to go away for a minute. But feel free to keep talking about Pope stuff. And I shall see you in just a minute. BRB. Hopefully we're back. Oh no! Sorry about that, everybody. I'm silly. I did not realize when I switched over to the BRB screen that actually the mic was not muted. So, you may have heard the sound of me sipping my tea and typing in chat whilst on BRB for the first minute or so. So, apologies for that. I just want to get a bit of a wash over this first bit of blue. It's a beautiful blue sky, but I do want to give it a bit more of the skong flavor. So I'm just gonna dull it down a little bit. But this isn't all we're doing. And you will soon see what I mean. Namely, make sure my canvas is nice and damp. Anyways, how's everyone's break? Are you still good? Are you all good? Have they actually announced the name of the new pope yet, or are we still kind of in the dark on that? I mean, it means nothing to me. I'm not Catholic. I don't know anything about this stuff, but I am nosy. So I like knowing about stuff. And I always feel a little bit weird when I don't know about stuff. I don't know. I don't like the feeling of being left out. You know what I mean? Is that weird? Is that normal? I don't know. Anyways, I thought I'd just add in some clouds. Some nice little fluffy clouds in the sky here. Getting a little bit smaller as we get closer to... as we get further down. Like so. There we go. There! Got some nice depth to our sky now. It looks a little bit like there might be, you know, some snowstormy trouble ahead, but it's nothing that our wonderful hero Hornet can't weather. She's a powerful friend. Homepers, hello, welcome in. Hi, how are you doing? It's lovely to see you, and welcome to Silksong Hours. Apparently still waiting, says Casa. Yeah, I'm just nosy. I really, you know what? I hope they elect Hornet. Hornet would be a great choice. Like her like head antler things are kind of shaped like a Pope's hat. Maybe they should pick her. Anyways, I think it's perfectly fine, says Rex. The Pope is an important dude. I've also been following the process a bit, and I'm not religious either. Yeah, I'm just nosy. Hello, Black Tomcat, who says, hey, wonderful watercolor artist and fellow coffee nerd. Hello, my friend. Welcome in. Welcome to Silksong Hours. Hope you're having a lovely day. This needs to dry again. So, I cannot find a ding-dang screenshot of the environment that I'm trying to paint here, which is a little bit frustrating. I'm gonna need to probably kind of extrapolate and guess. Or at the very least, it doesn't need to be an exact replica of an environment that we see in the game, does it? Does it? Please say no. Please say no. Please say no. Looking forward to some coffee stickers. I hope they arrive upon your shores soon, Black Tomcat. Very much I do. Tomcat says, oh, it took me a while to get that that's a PNG tuber. Yeah, that's me. Sorry, this isn't actual webcam. I know it looks like it could be actual webcam footage of me, but it is a PNG tuber. Partially because I'm in my pajamas and I don't want to have to get dressed for stream. Listen, I'm a tired bear, okay? Anyways. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do some, like, guesstimating with regard to how these, environments should look. Because I know there's kind of a wall on one side, there's kind of a wall on the other side, and I'm just, I think I'm just gonna make something up. I think I'm actually just gonna make something up. So I think if the wall is pretty much straight up and down over here, and I'll start adding in a layer of that. And then maybe add in like a wall, but like with a ledge or something on the other side, just to keep things interesting. I think that would be all right. Yeah, anyways. Okay, cool. I mean, right now this looks bad, but we'll get there. I can see both of your hands in there, and you're pointing at yourself. What witchcraft is this, says Tomcat. Listen, a magician never reveals their secrets. Rex says Sammy drank the paint water, and it's like they say you are what you eat. No! This, not for drinking. This contains God knows what pigments and, you know, gum arabic. And I mean, like, you can ingest gum arabic, it's fine. But God knows what pigments. I think generally most of the, like, really toxic stuff isn't available as commercial paints these days anyways. But, like, you shouldn't just be squeezing an entire tube of, like, quinacridone violet into your mouth, I don't think. I think that's a bad idea. At the very least, you might get a tummy ache. Hello, Tals, welcome in. Hello, singing silk, how does that work? I don't know. It used to be alleged that I had a nice voice. So perhaps the silken tones of a particularly good voice. I don't think I have a good voice anymore, at least. It takes effort to get back to the good voice. Let's see, thank you for calling. No, I can't do it. My throat's a little sore. But anyways, I'm gonna have a sip of my tea, speaking of. You mean you're not using arsenic, lead, or radium to paint? What kind of art is this? Casa, I think it's been a very long time since you were able to buy arsenic green. And certainly not lead or radium either. I mean, listen, people didn't know as much. Like, you know, we had to learn through experience about the toxicity of certain things, because, you know, we were just like, wow, this makes a really lovely color, and not like, if you like lick this green wallpaper, there's a good chance that might make you very sick. Anyways, and I mean, lead was used as a cosmetic ingredient for years and years and years. Until people figured out that it was linked to lead poisoning. Which, again, feels like a no-brainer to us, but, like, you know, sometimes it takes time to work out that correlation exists. And it do. Please do not put lead in your soap. I say this because not to spoiler a video that I am going to be rendering as soon as we're done streaming today. Oh, by the way, I finished the edit of my YouTube video. I'm going to render it out, ask my moderator/spouse to watch it and make sure that there aren't any, like, super clunky bits that I forgot to edit. Any areas where I put placeholder text, put a graphic here later, that kind of thing. Just to make sure that none of that is the case. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so a new YouTube video will hopefully, if I can figure out how to make a thumbnail that will be algorithmically advantageous to me, will hopefully be up, like, pretty soon. Like, maybe tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and link to my YouTube channel, just in case anyone here isn't subscribed and wants to see my new video when it comes out. My channel is here. Yup. Anyways, Cassia says someone on YouTube/TikTok keeps recreating/using toxic paints with a lot of PPE. That's really cool as an experiment and also super scary, but I'm also really happy to hear that at least they're using, like, a lot of PPE in order to do it. I think I've talked about this before, there was this woman who I guess is an historian. I don't know what her qualifications are because this feels like a really stupid thing to do. She was making, she was using an historical method of making hot processed soap, which is cool, except for the fact that she was using like wood ash derived lye, And if you're familiar what lye is, it's sodium hydroxide, and in its, like, standard form is extremely caustic and should never come into contact with bare skin. It can cause severe burns that will just leave you in agonizing pain for days. Okay? Like, you do not want this stuff touching your bare skin. It is bad news. It really is. And she was, like, whisking this soap mixture with her lye and whatever, like, tallow or whatever that she was using as, like, the oil in her soap. And then she was like, and I'm just gonna dip my finger in and see, does it still feel greasy? And if it still feels greasy, I know I need to keep whisking. And I'm like, like, she was lucky that either the lye that she made was, like, crappy and not strong enough, or that, you know, she, like, it had actually reached saponification stage. But if it hadn't, she would have, like, potentially damaged her skin. And she's showing people how to do this. And there are people in the comments being like, oh, wow, I can't wait to do this at home. I can't wait to do this on my farmstead. And I'm just like, people are taking this as a tutorial, ma'am. You should be taking, I don't care if it's not historical. You know what is historical? The people who made this as a profession would have trained for a very, you know, for like a reasonably long time, would have like apprenticed and stuff in the making of this and learned how to do it without hurting themselves. And you're just showing random internet people how to do it unsafely, you dumb piece of crap. It made me so angry. As you can tell by the fact that this isn't the first time I've ranted about it. And you'll see why this is relevant to my thoughts of late when you see the video that I'm posting tomorrow on YouTube. Rex says if they're a YouTuber that does PPE mean sunglasses and a tank top. No, damn it. I will say if you do want to learn how to make, if you want to learn how to make soap from scratch from a contemporary, like, expert, there's like, there is like a playlist of instructional, here's how to do it safely videos. There are multiples of these. Anne-Marie Brambleberry is very good. And also, Katie Royalty Soaps, both experts in their field, and will show you how to be safe while doing it if that's something you want to learn. So I'm glad to know that this, like, radium paint person is actually doing it with a lot of PPE, because that's the only way that you should be doing it. Can it really be heavy body paint without lead? That's the heaviest paint there is, says Rex. I mean, I'm not made of lead and I have a heavy body, so whatever that's worth. I'm implying I'm sturdy. Anyways, Cassa says, this lady made radium paint and some other crazy lady on YouTube reported her to the authorities, doxed her rough location. No, that's less safe than the lady making radium paint. And the response from the authorities was basically, she's fine. The amount she has is legal. Yeah, like, if she's doing this, like, from a research perspective and being very safe about it, then, like, great, good. I'm glad that you are, you know, like, studying these things for educational purposes. It's really interesting. And I'm glad to know that they're doing it safely. That's the most important thing. I can't, like, the less safe thing is clearly the person who's, like, doxing where the paint maker lives. Like, what is wrong with people? Oh my god. Anyways, Rex says history is good and all, but there are reasons we live longer now than we used to. Yeah, exactly. When you hear like, oh god, okay, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but when you hear people being like, oh, you know, like, my ancestors didn't have vaccines, it's like, yeah, you know what they had? They had measles and polio, and lots of them died from things like measles and polio. You know why we don't anymore? You know why no one's dying of smallpox? Vaccines. Vaccines, you dumb piece of crap. What is there to not understand about this? I did very nearly go into, like, additional tangents in my forthcoming YouTube video about, like, the history of hygiene as it relates to medicine in the period and decided that that was too large of a tangent that would require too much additional research, and that it would be best left to not do that. Tals is wielding a sword about that. Yeah, no, I agree. I think the thing is, like, if you're an adult and you decide to put your own personal health in jeopardy, okay, but also, like, vaccines are for the protection of public health generally. Like, for instance, protecting you from transmitting viruses to people who have greater health vulnerabilities than you do, or may, for other medical reasons, not be able to take a vaccine. But additionally, you know, jeopardizing your child's health by choosing to not get them jabbed when their routine jabs are available. Like, that's... like, maybe I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but that's just bad parenting, you dumb piece of crap. Okay, wow, I'm feeling salty today. This was supposed to be a soft and gentle stream, and I'm just calling people dumb pieces of crap. So apologies for that, I guess. Anyways, Rex says maybe the new pope will be the kind of person to say medical science and vaccines are good because it was made using knowledge God gave us. Sure, you know what? That I like that angle. I am not by any stretch of the imagination a Catholic, though I do appreciate a good bit of ecclesiastical architecture, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I think that's a wonderful way to look at it. Listen, the pursuit of knowledge and the doing of science and making use of, like, scientific and technological advancements is great, and we should do that. Sammy's Inner Canadian came out. Yeah, hey there. So I'm bi, eh? I'm also some kind of non-beanie. Anywho, I'm just gonna take a sip of my double-double. Anyways, yeah, I have some Catholic family because, you know, Irish. I mean, I am, like, ancestrally speaking, Catholic. My family went to church for, like, the first 5 or so years of my life. But it wasn't something that we talked about at home, and I think it's because neither of my parents take any stock in, like, religious belief. So it was something that we did because, like, just culturally that's what we did. But then when I was, like, 5, they were like, well, the kids aren't interested, and we don't really care for this stuff, so why are we doing it? So we just reclaimed our Sunday mornings and stopped going. And it wasn't until I, like, went to, like, primary school and started interacting with, like, other kids quite a bit that I just, I don't know, I think possibly because we didn't talk about it, like, in my household, I just, as a tiny, like, preschool aged and early primary school aged child, I just assumed that, like, the Jesus part of, let's say, Easter was on the same level as, like, the Easter Bunny part of Easter. That, like, they were fun stories. But, like, I knew it was my parents putting the chocolate eggs out. But the Easter Bunny is, like, the mascot of Easter, right? And I thought that the Bible stuff was the same thing. I thought it was just stories like my other storybooks. But, you know, it was, like, stories that had lessons in them, I guess. And no one explained to me in explicit terms that this wasn't the case until I was, like, maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8, and I was like, wait, what? You guys know that this is... Oh, I'm so sorry. Never mind. And I felt really bad for having, like, inferred to, you know, that some other children's, like, legitimate religious belief was make-believe, because I had always just assumed that everyone thought it was make-believe. I don't know if this is the TISM thing, But it turns out my experience was not universal, and I felt very bad about that. I was not trying to invalidate anyone. You know, like it's all good, you know, respect. But I was a weird kid. Anyways. Casta says, I've been to a party with monks, and monks can drink. I mean, I'm not surprised by that. I'm not surprised by that, because monks can brew, like, some pretty interesting liqueurs. Oh, what is it? I think chartreuse is like a monastery liqueur, and also frangelico, which is very sugary. The bottle's even shaped like monks' robes. So I'm unsurprised. Good for them. Wait, what? What's this about the Easter Bunny? Oh, Tals. You know? Listen, just forget I said anything. It's just a difference of opinions. Anyways, these are Irish monks. They started singing after a few drinks. I love them. I love them so much. There are actually a lot of... I see a lot of monks around town where I live. I think there's like... I think the university has like a monk school, because I see a lot of monks wandering around town. I love their outfits. They look so comfy. They look super comfy. I see the appeal of the monastic career path for sure. Rex says, my family was almost the same situation. Catholic until I was too young to know what it was really, but old enough to remember it. Yeah, exactly. Like, I just thought that it was fun and then mostly boring. And I remember being shunted off to a little, like, kids area where I would just do, like, coloring sheets. My favorite crayon was metallic bronze. That was a rad crayon. I remember it well. Cassa said, I've attended Easter Midnight Mass in Ireland in March. I was mostly cold, tired, and confused. I am not surprised. I feel like that would be quite cold and also late at night. And I'm a sleepy bear, so oof. Rex says, I've had chartreuse. Every year at New Year's, our friends and I get a bottle and have a fire ring to ring in the new year. Oh my goodness. Everyone stands in a circle, soaking their finger in the shot, and you pass fire from finger to finger and then have the... That's terrifying, Rex! That's... Oh my gosh! That's... You people are so brave! Oh my goodness. Knowing me, I would, like, set my hair on fire. I'm, like, I know it. Because I'm just such a klutz. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of theology studies at Oxford. Oh yes, I know. I actually worked briefly in the theology department, or faculty rather, at the university. I can't remember exactly what it was that I did, but I had to process a lot of exam papers. And also there was a really excellent selection of biscuits in the faculty kitchen. I can tell you that right now. That was nice. Also, the room that had a photocopier in it was great for hiding. Anyways. If you want to get wasted, you buy Buckfast from the Scottish monks. Oh boy. We are learning a lot of monk tea today. I love it. It doesn't burn you for at least like 10 seconds, says Rex. It only takes a couple to receive and then pass on the fire. Then you blow it out. Terrifying. But also I believe you. But also terrifying. I remember when we were younger, my brother used to do the thing of like, there's like a lit candle, and he would just like, zhoof, 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 his hand like through the flame, to be like, look, oh, I'm not burning myself, I'm not burning myself, I'm not burning myself, and then the one time he did. I never did it again. Anyways, I actually think this little like ledge / passageway area maybe wants to be a little darker than that, because now that looks too light. I don't know whence I'm doing. I'll probably add some line weight to kind of separate the two areas. I'm just trying to give us a little set dressing. Anyway, sorry, I've been rambling and not painting. Let's bring back Skong, because I'm pretty sure that this bit is dry now. So I can work on Skong! Yay! Awesome. Okay. So the Skong sky is complete. Can I get a little bit of a continuous peel, do we think? I always try and it doesn't. Oh! Damn it. I don't know if it's because this masking fluid is a bit older, but I find it really hard to just get like a continuous long peel now. It usually wants to break, which is a bit sad. Because I do like a nice continuous peel. No, it broke. Shoot. For the friends who don't drink, they soak their finger in a communal extra shot and have a non-alcoholic drink in their cup for the cheers. Someone will claim the communal shot. I guess you have to trust that everyone has impeccably clean hands. If everyone's doing dippies in the shot glass. That's really interesting. It sounds like fun. I think the last few New Year's, I've more or less, like, stayed up until midnight, more or less by accident, just, like, watching YouTube videos, and I'm like, oh, would you look at that, it's past midnight, let's have a kiss, and then we have a kiss, and we'll usually have, like, some kind of cheese board for dinner for New Year's Day, and either, like, a takeaway, or I'll make, like, a pasta meal for the eve. I'm boring. Oh, Biddle Boy, I'm so boring. Anyways, I remember the year I was, oh gosh, I was like maybe 19 or 20. I was supposed to be going to a New Year's party with some friends. I was staying with a friend in Vermont at the time, and we were meant to be going to a New Year's party of a friend of hers. And it was one of those ones where the address, I don't know where this man's house was. But we could not find it. We were, like, way out in the middle of nowhere in the country outside of Burlington. And there was nowhere and nothing, and we couldn't find the house. We couldn't get a hold of the guy to ask him, like, dude, here's the road we're on. Where is your house? How do we get to the road that your house is on? It doesn't seem to exist. So we ended up just, we were driving past, like, a Domino's pizza, and we were like, oh, what the hell, let's just get pizzas and go home. And so we went and got pizzas and went home, and it just turned midnight while we were, like, driving back to the house, and we were just like, what? Okay. Anyways, yeah. Rex says, it's a tradition that comes from somewhere. It was explained to me, but I forget where it originates. You think of a wish for the year, and if you make it all the way around the circle without needing to reignite, then the wish comes true. Oh, that's nice. That is really cute. I like it. I like it a lot. That's very cool. As I say, I don't really do anything. Apart from, I feel like the cheese is important to me, but that's largely just because I like cheese. I'm lactose intolerant, so I shouldn't eat a lot of cheese, but hey. Anyways. But yeah. That's really cool. I need to decide what I'm doing. So I'm trying to keep the colors fairly simple for most of these pieces, but I feel like I want these to read as trees. So I should probably, I should probably color them in, like, a nice greenish range of hues. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. How best to do that? Now, I do have a greenish black paint in my, like, shadow colors set. But it's quite, I don't know if it's quite right. I'm wondering if I can combine some of this, like, mint green with that and arrive at something that feels like a good tree color. So I'm going to try taking some of this and mixing in some of this greenish black, which you can see is quite deep. But what happens if I combine these two? Is that just going to give us kind of, it's just kind of grayish? It's just kind of grayish, but actually, I think this might work for starters. Okay, so I'm gonna use that, actually, I think, as kind of a base. And maybe I'm just going to paint this whole thing in. I would like to maybe establish some snowy treetops here and there. So I'll do that. And then I'll add in some like shadows and slightly darker bits of the foliage as well. Just to keep things, you know, just to keep things feeling a little bit less, not too single note, as it were. So if I just kind of, there's a little snow sitting on top of some of these trees. Some of these trees, the paint has dried. So I can't lift it now. Let me try again. Okay. Alright, well that's something, so that's good, I guess. Oh no! We have a terrible drawing time request, and it's beautiful. A not wanted poster of Zode. Okay. Thank you for the terrible drawing time redeem. For anyone who's new here, hi, welcome. Why are you subjecting yourself to this? But also thank you. But this is Terrible Drawing Time, which is a segment of the stream where for 5,000 channel points you have you can give me 5 minutes or less to draw a character or a concept of your choosing from memory or sight unseen on the Terrible Drawing canvas. This is our current one. We've got some fizzy tea. We've got Oshawott fighting God, obviously, and a field of free-range hand-reared sausages having a little frolic on a beautiful day. Just normal stuff. Best channel point redeem on Twitch. Thank you for saying so, Lino. That's very kind. Let me do what I can. Tal says, I often change what time zone I observe New Year for so I can go to bed once I'm sleepy. That's so valid of you. Like, you know, it's like, not it doesn't matter. It's all just arbitrary silliness. But for me, it's an excuse to eat like 4 kinds of cheese in the same day. So I will avail myself of that. Excuse me. 5 minutes on the clock. Starting now. No. Now. There. Okay. We're going. Where's my... Damn it! Where's my pencil? I thought I brought my pencil and eraser and stuff in here with me. Shoot! Heck, the clock is ticking down! Oshawott fighting God seemed like peak until you showed the free-range sausages. That's Rex, thank you. So I just lost 20 seconds to not knowing where the heck my pencil was, so that was great. Anyways, let me draw... I'm just gonna... I probably shouldn't draw the dimensions of the poster first. I should probably draw, like, the contents and then just put the edges of the paper around it, depending on size. Okay, I have to remember what Zote looks like from memory, which is... He looks like a stupid butt. That's what he looks like. So something like that, and then his head is like this. His head is like that shape. And he's got his beautiful face. He's got his beautiful eyes. Actually, I think I need to make this one a little bit bigger. Okay. This is the most beautiful and most perfect thing I've ever drawn at all in the world. At least I think it's perfect. I hope you agree. You agree. It's perfect. Okay. Zoda's probably the one person that I've heard Sammy be outright mean about. It's listen. He does not desire my kindness. I have tried. Okay? Some people just like some people you try to reach out to, you try to be kind to, and they just rebuff you at every possible opportunity. And at some point you have to just step away and say, okay, you know what? You wanna just keep having the crap kicked out of you by this Vengefly? Like, I can't help you if you don't want to be helped, and you don't. So I'm just gonna have to leave you to it. You know? Like, there are better places where I can be applying my skills to people who actually want them. And sometimes you've just got to give up. It feels bad, but it's like sometimes you just gotta. I remember when I was a student, there was this one guy who was always by himself. He didn't have any friends. And one of my friends and I were both the kind of person who's just like, who, you know, personally, I understand what it's like to be left out and to feel lonely and that kind of thing. So I was like, yeah, let's befriend this guy. And every attempt was he was just outright hostile to anyone who tried to be nice to him. And it's like, okay, well, this person does not want to interact with anyone. And okay then. And that's kind of, I guess, how I feel about Zote. Like, I can try, I can, you know, see that he's in trouble and offer to help him out, and he's like, no, what are you doing, you stupid creature? I was fine. Go away, you silly dum-dum. And, you know, okay, fine. Fine, I will just let you fail on your own then, because you do not want the help of others, and fine. Anyways, there we go. That's terrible drawing time. Not wanted. Please go away. The management. Doesn't desire nor deserve it, says Lino. Yeah. I am very much here for being kind to others, for giving people the benefit of the doubt, for wanting to just, you know, treat people the way that I would wish to be treated. But ultimately, I can't force kindness onto people who do not wish to receive it. And Zote doesn't want to be rescued. So, you know what? Screw him. Thank you for the terrible drawing time. I guess the kindest thing I can do in that case is just give him exactly what he wants and leave him alone. Okay. Rex says, what if Zote is trying to be defeated, but he's just too powerful and can't be? Yeah, that sounds like something Zote would tell you. That sounds like something Zote would tell you. Anyways, Lino says perfect. Oh, thank you, Lino. I'm glad you approve, my friend. I'm very glad that you approve. Okay, now that these have dried down a little bit, I can come in with some treely shadows. La 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 la. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Just getting a little bit more of a darker green, especially on sort of the trees in the foreground of things. More so than the ones further back, I think. Okay. Gonna lift a bit because I did not mean to put paint there. Yay. Okay. Maybe just water this down a smidge to get some of these bits further back. La la la. Doodly doo. Dee 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 dee. La la la. Doo doo doo. Etc. etc. Okay, we've got some funky tree shapes happening here. I'll add some lighter line weight as well. So I think I can now look at maybe getting a bit of texture into the snow here. And for that, I'm gonna take this blue and just really, really water it right down. And just try and create the appearance of some drifty stuff happening with that, and maybe just like this trail behind Hornet of where she's come from there. Cool. Okay. Anyways, but yeah. Anywho, what's everyone been up to this week? What have you been doing? I hope you've been having good times, enjoying whatever the weather is like where you're at. Here it's cold again. It's very cold in the house. So I've got two big cups of hot tea. I've got 2 big cups of tepid tea. This is very tepid, and honestly my mint tea is like cold by now, but they were hot. So, you know, like that was something. Oops. Anyways, I'm just gonna try and get the impression of like some snowy shapes and textures here and there. But I want this to be very, very faint and very light and not too obtrusive, I think. Just because I do want it to, you know, ultimately I do want it to be white because it's a hill of snow. So it wants to be mostly white. Speaking of hills, so I've been looking at going to Stockholm for a few days later this summer. We've got some time. It's a city that neither of us have been to. I checked, there are bakeries that specialize in doing like wheat-free, gluten-free baking, so I will be able to get kanelbuller and safely. That was, you know, important for me. But I also found out that some parts of the city are quite hilly. Or there are some fairly steep differences in elevation in some areas, and I'm like, oh no. Because I am a short-legged baby, and so going up steep hills is extra hard work for me, and I don't want to be huffing and puffing and sweating all over the place when I'm just trying to have a nice time, sip coffees, and look at pretty buildings and doot around and, you know, visit museums and what have you. Oh, the Pope has a name. It's apparently this breaking news just in. The new Pope has decided to be called Pope Leo. Neat. Good for them. Is it short for Leonard? Or yeah, is it Lion Pope? Real name Robert Prevost. Good for him. Or them. Or her. I don't know. Pronouns? Do we have papal pronouns yet? Anywho, catching up with chat. So, congratulations, to the new Pope. I hope that, I hope that they have a nice papal career. I hope that they have nice ideas about what Catholicism could be, considering that it is a pretty large and influential global religion. Would like to see, you know, a good person get that role. First American Pope. Oh, an American! Good for him! Congratulations, America! Interesting. Anyways. Talsa said it's just another week at work trying to get ahead of some deadlines looming over the coming months. You can do it. I believe in you. Hell yeah. Isn't quite a hilly area just all of Sweden, says Rex. Yay! Well, I don't know. I can't restrict my travels to places with no hills, but Poplio, says Rex. Yes, Poplio. You know what? That's a good. Let's see if I can find a good person. Hopes are gone immediately, says Rex. Oh no. Oh no. Anyways. Let's just, okay, breaking news. I have found a photo of the new Pope. At least I think, assuming I did my Google searching correctly, and it is hard to speak while typing. But here he is. Looks like a jolly fellow, so here's hoping that it bodes well for the good people of Catholicism, I guess. Casa says, Sweden is hills, Norway is mountains, and Denmark is flat. Casa, is that why I loved Copenhagen so much? Because I would love to go back to Copenhagen. Copenhagen is a dream to walk around. It also has a fun metro system. And it is a gosh dang dream to walk around. And I think that might be because it's quite flat. Ah, shoot. We did, there is this really interesting, like, 17th century building in the center of Copenhagen that's this round tower, and in order to get up the tower, you have to go via the entire thing is like a spiraling ramp going up, as opposed to, like, stairs. But my partner and I were going to go do that, and then we were like, there was a massive queue, and we were like, do we really want to queue up to have to, like, hike up a ramp? No. So we decided to not do it. That was the one thing where there would have been, like, an incline we had to walk up in Copenhagen, and we were like, eh. But there was an area of Stockholm that I was looking at for visiting for our holiday this year, and I was like, oh, here's a building, right? It was like, here's a building, and here's the street, and I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Alright, so, updates from Casa. Sweden is hills, Norway is mountains, and Denmark is flat. Iceland is volcanoes, and Finland is trying to pretend none of the rest of them exist. Heck. Actually, I would like to visit Finland at some point as well. It looks beautiful. And I've been to an airport in Iceland, but I've never actually left the airport. And the last time I was in the airport, our flight was delayed by several hours. So instead of having, like, a nice break in the middle of our, like, long haul flight from Canada to, like, you know, freshen up, go to the loo, splash some cold water on our face, get some breakfast, just stretch our legs a bit. It was literally, we got off the plane, walked across a corridor, which is, like, literally walk 10 feet across the corridor and get into a queue for another plane. And that was it. That was our break. It was awful. No. Anyways. Linus says, I once made the mistake of referring to Finland as Scandinavia to a Finnish person. Whoops. Oh dear. It is Finland. Anyways. What I will say about Finland, and one of my favorite things about Finland, is Moomins. Obviously. But important thing about Moomins and Finland is that in Finnish, Snufkin's name is Nuskamuikunen, which I think is adorable. And so many syllables. Man, Finnish loves syllables. And you know, I love syllables too, so I'm super here for it. I did very much enjoy my visit to Finland some years ago, says Tals. I bet it was lovely. It looks beautiful. And it is the home to some lovely baked goods. I'm sorry to, like, all of the Nordic countries. I don't like licorice. Salty or not, It's not for me. Will not be coming home with a suitcase full of salmiakki. The thing about salty licorice is that I like the first millisecond of it, where you just get the licorice flavor and the salt. But the salt is like a top note, and it disappears very quickly. And then you just have like a cloyingly sweet base that will not leave your mouth, and I do not like it at all. Sorry. Anyways, oddly distracted. Hi, welcome in. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you. They say, lol, I got jump scared by your painting tuber because I thought it was a slideshow for a second. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. No, this is just a graphical representation of me and what I look like at the moment doing painting. I'm so sorry. Anyways, I hope you're well. Anyways, or rather, says Lino, part of Scandinavia. Apparently it's not, and they were quite adamant about it. I can tell you the Finnish language belongs to a different linguistic family to the other, like, languages of Nordic countries, which is how you have, how do you say thank you in the languages of these countries? In Iceland you say tak, in Denmark you say tak, in Norway you say tak, in Sweden you say tak, and in Finland you say kiitos. Anyways, Talis did enjoy visiting Finland. I would love to. It looks beautiful. My favorite thing about Finland is they invented Molotov cocktails. Did they now? Goodness gracious, I did not know that. Finland, when outnumbered and outgunned, use fire. I mean, hey, if it works. I would use run away, but that's just me. I'm like the Pokemon Wooloo. I'm soft and spherical, and my special powers are fluffy and roll away. Oddly Distracted says, it's very unique. I love it. Thank you so much. That's incredibly kind of you to say. Thank you. Okie dokie. I'm gonna paint. I need to decide what color is Hornt's little woolly hat and also Hornt's little woolly scarf. Tal says, kiitos is the only Finnish I remember, but I also didn't learn very much at the time. I know, kiitos and some words for food, and what Snufkin's name is, which is the most important thing. I do think it's a very fun language, though. Probably very difficult to learn. But yes, I do think it's a lovely language. Anywho, excuse me. I need to decide what colors these little. I feel like the scarf and hat should be like contrasting accent colors to Hornet's poncho, which is of course the iconic Hornet poncho red. So maybe I'll do, but just to keep it well differentiated from the environment here, if I do the hat in like maybe like a green, so it's not too close in tone to the sky, for instance. So I'm gonna combine this like turquoisey, tealy color with my yellow and hopefully create a nice, that's too much yellow. I'm gonna add some more teal to it. Try and create a nice fresh green. So she's got a little green woolly hat. And then maybe the scarf is like stripes. So it's got like little green stripes. Because that's cute, probably. And then I'll do like sort of an orangey pink for the contrasting color. So I'm using this like coral hue And I'll do like the pom-pom in coral. And then I'll do like a little contrast stripe between the green ones. This little coral color. That's very festive of you, Hornet. You look so stinking cute. Aww. She looks so stinking cute. I love that for her. This is so silly. This is so silly. Also, I might change my mind and change the green to a blue. Because I'm deeply indecisive. Lina says, I know cursi pala, which means about 12 different things and none of them really make much sense, and I love it. I love things that don't make sense. Things don't mean to make sense, that's fine. Oh, jeez. Oddly says, I hear you coughing, do me a favor and don't die. I just got here. Listen, I'll try not to die. I can't make any promises, but I'll try not to. Thank you for the well wishes, I think, or possibly the instructions there. Oh, beans. Okay. Yeah, I think I've changed my mind. I'm actually gonna make the other color in the hat blue, but I'm gonna make it like a darker blue. So I'm mixing a bit of cornflower with some of my shadow blue. And I'm literally just gonna paint over it. I love that she's just got a little woolly toque, like, perched on her little antlery thing. I think that's heckin' adorbs. And actually I think this color works better. I'm gonna try and get a bit of a fringe on the end of the scarf. And, shoot, we're about to go into ads. Okay, there's gonna be an ad break. I do apologize. You won't miss anything. I'm going to take the opportunity to take a break. I recommend you take the opportunity to take a break as well. So I will be right back. A BRB, everyone. I hope that you had a wonderful BRB. Let's get back into it. Okay. Right. So we've got just to bring you up to speed. We've got Hornet's little woolly hat sitting on the end of one of her antlers. I don't know what the sticky up bits are, so I'm just calling them antlers. Anyways, I hope everyone had a good break. And she's also got a nice little coordinating scarf in this very, like, I don't know, this color combination makes me think of Canada in the 80s. I don't know why. Probably something that was owned in my family home that was similar in color to that in the 80s. I don't know. Sometimes you have these very, like, specific associations in your mind and your memories, and you don't know why. And that's one of this for me. I don't know. Anyways. So I'm just gonna paint in Hornet's little poncho. Alright, looking sharp, little buddy. I saw, I don't know if anyone watches the Eurogamer YouTube channel, but they made a video yesterday. Fairly CBC colors, says Tulse. That's why. That's why you figured it out. It's CBC. It all comes back to the CBC, which if you're not familiar with, here's an approximation of the CBC logo. Hi, everyone. My moderator / spouse has just come home, so I'm going to go say hi to him. I'll be back in just a second. Sweetie! Hi, sunshine. Okay. Thank you. What's in the bag? Can I like the lookies? Ooh, is this spaghetti? It's spaghetti. Why did you buy spaghetti?
Because I wanted meatballs with spaghetti.
Ah, cool.
And
What?
I had spaghetti at Sainsbury's for like 8 quid.
Are we doing that tomorrow?
No, whenever.
Okay. Alright. I love you.
We've got gnocchi tomorrow.
We do have gnocchi for tomorrow. Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah.
With tomato sauce?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I think it's nice on the tomato sauce and do.
Well, I'm only going to use half a jar of tomato sauce, so yeah, I can definitely do spaghetti meatballs, because we've got veggie meatballs in the freezer. I would love to do that.
Cool.
Hey, babe. I love you. One more. Okay, love you too. Hey everyone, I'm back. Sorry about that. Blushing. Hi. Anyways. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, so. I was talking about, so the YouTube channel Eurogamer put out a video yesterday about, like, where, so what's up with Silksong? Why do we think it maybe took so long? And I think the real answer is probably just they didn't want to, they didn't want to crunch. And I'm really glad that they didn't, because that's not a good way to work. That's not a sustainable work pattern, and I don't think it should be supported. I think we should support game developers and game studios taking as much time as it needs to produce a game without, sacrificing work-life balance. Ultimately, I would rather, they kept to a sustainable work schedule in so doing, even if it meant that I had to wait longer for a game to release. Like, that should be a no-brainer. Anyways. But also, I really hope that Team Cherry, appreciate how much... Oh my god, I'm so sorry for the shaky cam. Oh my goodness, there's been an avalanche on the mountain! Hornet, you gotta get out of there! Anyways, I hope that they know and appreciate just how much, like, we're all just really pumped for this game. And I worry that Earthquake says Tells, oh no! I worry that there's gonna be, because any fandom has its share of toxicity, and that does make me a little bit nervous. I worry that, like, that there's gonna be people who, no matter what Silksong ends up being like, and I'm sure, like, from what I've seen, it looks really good. Once again, possible spoilies for Silksong just a little bit on this stream. Regardless of, but if you clicked onto a stream where we're doing quote-unquote Silksong fan art, I don't know what you expected. If not, potential mild spoilies, okay? What was I saying? Oh, yeah, so this is the thing. Like, there's always some element of toxicity in any fandom, because some people just kind of, they build up. It's been so long that I think, and you see this sometimes with, like, films and TV and that kind of thing, where people start speculating and people start building up, like, expectations in their mind of, I think that this thing is going to happen, I think they're going to do this, that, or the other, and even though it's just speculation, they kind of come to expect it to be that, and then because of that expectation they've built up in their mind, whatever the end product ends up being, it ends up kind of feeling disappointing potentially, because it isn't what you imagined it would be. Tal says, I do worry that they can't live up to the level of anticipation. Yeah, exactly. If you are expecting it to be like the single most transcendently incredible, perfect experience of a game that you've ever had in your entire life, you might be setting yourself up for disappointment. If you're expecting it to be like an expansive and interesting and cool, boss fighty platformer that's similar but kind of different to Hollow Knight, you're probably going to have a good time. And from the looks of it, it looks like I'm probably going to have a good time from the little amounts, the glimpses we've seen of it. I'm sure it's going to be really fun. I can see that, like, there are some mechanics that are different to Hollow Knight. I mean, you've got a different lead character for one thing, so there's going to be different things that she's able to do. And I'm hoping that they've done this in a way that feels interesting and organic, and I hope that, but, my worry is that there are going to be people who are like, this is too different from Hollow Knight, I'm used to Hollow Knight, I just wanted Hollow Knight but more Hollow Knight, and are going to be upset that they've made changes, and that the game mechanics aren't 100% just Hollow Knight, because that's the thing that they love. There are going to be people who are like, This is too similar to Hollow Knight. They should have changed it more and made it even more different and unique. They're just doing Hollow Knight again, but with a couple of little tweaks. I don't like it. And I really hope that Team Cherry ignores all of these people. Because, you know, like, no matter what you do, when you're creating something new within a very beloved property, no matter what you do, there are going to be people who are complaining about it. Those people are likely the minority, but they're often very loud. So I hope that they're able to just tune that out, or ignore that, or whatever. Because I think most people who are genuinely looking forward to this will be happy with what this ends up being, because it's clear they put a lot of work and a lot of love into it. And a lot of thought into, like, the lore and the story and how things will be different because you are a different player character. And I guess I don't know. Team Cherry seemed like a really solid group of people, and I firmly believe that that they've been working at this for as long as they have because they want to produce the best game they can. And I believe in that vision, and I'm looking forward to it. Oh no! Oh no! I was trying to scroll up chat, but apparently I'd highlighted the wrong, section of my stream software. I'm so sorry. Is everyone still here? Hello. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I mean, thank you for being here, everyone. Thank you for continuing to watch the stream. Please don't leave. Dima, hello. Welcome in. How are you doing? It's very good to see you. Welcome on in. Linus says, those people can suck a proverbial. Absolutely they can. Absolutely. 100%. Tell says, yeah, there will be both two different and two the same people can't win. I feel like the thing is, like, that'll be there. 2% of the people will be like, it's too different. 2% of the player base will be like, it's too the same. And then 96% of the player base will be like, this is fun. I'm sure of it. I'm positive. Rex says, Team Cherry is great at ignoring those people already, it seems. They really are. It's great. I love that. Honestly, all I can hear is, wow, 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 says Oddly. I really hope that that's the complainants and not me. Anyways, I saw the picture of Pope Leo, says Rex. Oh, yeah, so, as a non-Catholic, this doesn't really mean anything to me, but we were getting some news updates earlier, so if anyone is curious, they did elect a new pope. His name is Pope Leo, and he looks like this. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna line weight this sucker, and then we can call it Silksong. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm just gonna pick up some of this blue and add more blue to it to get some nifty little line weight, but not too defined line weight. So, oh god, this puddle of water is just spreading everywhere. I only wanted a little bit of a wet brush for this. I want it to be not quite as dark as the properly foregroundy line weight. So I do want my brush to be a little bit less saturated with paint here for the hills. Hopefully you'll be able to see sort of the shading on the snowy ski slopes and what have you. I don't know. Anyways. But I do want this section of snow to feel like it's, you know, slightly behind our horn here. So she's going to have slightly more nice dark line weight for Hornet. Poplio, says Rex. Exactly. Poplio sounds like a Pokemon name, for real. It's Poplio. Where are they? Hold on, let me find them again. There we go. It's Poplio, aka Poplio. Anyways, congratulations that guy, I guess. I'm not, again, as a non-Catholic, I can but look on and go, okay. But I hope for the people for whom this holds meaning that this is a cause for having a good time, I guess. Okay. Just getting some Getting some tree-shaped line weights onto here, as you do. If they look goofy, eh. They're just a suggestion of trees off in the distance. And I don't need them to look too supernaturalistic because, this is Hollow Knight art, and this whole world is pretty stylized, I would say. So, that's kind of what I'm aiming for here. Is stylized tree situation. I'm gonna try and get some slightly tree-ish shapes at least, but you know. Anyways, I wonder how many people who have already drawn Poplio with a Pope hat already. Says oddly. I hope it's at least one. I hope there's at least one. 'Cause I mean, like it's right there. It's right there for you. How could you not? Some of these trees are weird shapes. Oh no. Oh well. I'm trying my best. Anyways. This was not intended to be like the papal election special stream, but here we are. Thank you for humoring me, I guess. Anyways, I'm glad she's not skiing through this, like, dense thatch of trees, because that would be a lot harder for me to paint, and also real scary, probably. Okay. Nearly there. Nearly there with this very weird mountainous forest. Okay. Okay, cool. We've got some trees and stuff. Basically, I'm going off of the like scene that we had from the like game footage. But I was like, if I'm making this into a proper like mountainous ski slope, then instead of spikes, it should just be like a patch of trees there. So that's what I did. Oh wow, Oddly says, I did find what actually Googled Pope Poplio and got a result from DeviantArt from 7 years ago. They predicted the future. That's impressive. That's very impressive, and also a little bit scary. That they were like, huh, I wonder. Off in the distant future of the year 2025, what if perchance a Pokemon becomes Pope? I mean, there's a Pokemon that's God, so, you know, hey. I guess it's not that far-fetched. Anyways, that is, of course, hold on, I do have my terrible drawing time routine of the time that I was asked to draw Oshawa fighting God. Because, of course, at the end of Pokemon Legends Arceus, I still haven't actually finished the game, but at the end of Pokemon Legends Arceus, once you've got to catch them all, you then have to fight God. It's a weird game. I know there's a new Pokemon Legends coming out, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of neat, but it doesn't, I don't know, I'm not quite as excited for it as I was for Arceus, because it's set in, like, a modern city, which feels less fantastical and fun. What I liked about Arceus, partly, is that you get to just gallop around landscapes riding your, like, weird reindeer Pokemon, and just having a good time. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I mean, it could be fun. It could be very fun. I feel like it's not quite as open world, which again is one of the things that I really liked about Arceus. So I guess we'll find out. Sorry, I got really quiet there for a second. I just really didn't want to specifically F up, like, the shape of Hornet's head. Because I feel like she's kind of the focal point of the painting. So if I wreck that, the painting is just bad. And maybe, you know, you're sitting here thinking to yourself, well, the painting is bad, and in which case you can keep that thought to yourself. Because tough biscuits, it is precisely what it is, and what it is this. Happy little pom-pom sitting on top of her little toque. Wait, is her hat just hanging off of her horn? That's so adorable, says Oddly. Yeah, it is. She's just got a little toque. Just sort of sitting on top of her little horn. Because why not? Rex says, I feel like I've also seen it in the past at some point. It's a good, I mean, it's a good word pun. I enjoy it. Excellent word playage. So, you know, like, why not? I'm gonna take a sip of my beverage. Delicious. Okay. But yes, what was I saying? I don't remember. Pokemon. I've played one Pokemon game in my whole life, and that was Pokemon Legends Arceus for the Nintendo Switch. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun time. Anyways, I need to figure out how these ski poles work. She's holding this one in her little hand. Like so. And she's holding the other one in her other hand like so, but you can't see that because that's on the other side of her hand. I love when characters with horns or something similar do that. Says Oddly, just treating themselves like a hat rack. I mean, why not? I love that for her. I think it's cute. I missed some stripes on her scarf, so I'm gonna have to go back in and do those. That's fine. I wanted to give the end of the scarf a little bit of a fringe, and I have happy to report that I've done that now, and it feels much better. I'm going to get a little definition and line weight onto the stripes as well, because I think it just works with the way that the line art of this art style works, really. So that's a good. And if I can just come in here, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. And then go like that. And then clean this brush off for a second. Mistakes are being made, everyone. Yay! Oh, good. Just pick up a smidgen of my coral real quick. And just plonk that right in the middle. Oh, good. It's completely disappeared. Whatever. Never mind. Don't look at that. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Continuing on with my line weight. Okay, what else do I need to do? I'm gonna do her little. Okay, there was a tiny bead of water hanging out on the ferrule of my paintbrush, and you know, if there's a tiny bead of water hanging out on the ferrule of my paintbrush, I got to deal with that straight away. Otherwise, bad things happen. Already, my paintbrush is too wet for such tiny and precise leg work. Because she's got quite skinny little legs. They're not particularly thick. Her legs. They're rather pointed sticks. So I'm trying to actually pick up a bit of this, so I can try and refine it a little. There. Okay. Good enough, I think. Sammy Ann, hi, welcome in. Is Hornet skiing? I love this. Yes. If you're okay with this stream contains spoilers for Silksong, because the prompt is Silksong. And this is based on a 4-frame segment of footage that we got from the forthcoming game, in which I'm just gonna. Sorry, I dropped my eraser. I dropped my eraser, everyone. I'm gonna get it up on screen real quick so you can see of whence I speak. where Hornet is gliding down a slope, and I thought, this looks like she could be going skiing down a little ski slope, and so that's what I decided to paint today. I mean, if it's in the trailer, then it's not really a spoiler, right? It says oddly. I mean, I don't care about spoilers in that way. They're not spoiling, like, the deep lore of it at this point or anything. But I'm also very aware of the fact that some people, like, will want to not even see, like, the trailer footage or, like, the Nintendo announcement footage or the screen caps that were published on the Japanese website. And so I want to make sure to give people, like, every possible out if they really, really don't want to be spoiled in that way. Because, you know, I get it. Sometimes you don't, and that's okay. Anyways. Spoilers, okay, I'm out to Sammy and joking, not worried about spoilers. That's absolutely fair. I feel like as a streamer, I almost kind of can't be worried about spoilers. I mean, I wouldn't be anyways, but I feel like I kind of can't be. Just cause, like, I'm gonna see stuff, you know? And that's okay. Uh-oh. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh, where did that come from? Heck. You are kind, says Sammy, and I try my best. I'm glad Miss Rainbows is not here. She would be more upset about spoilers. That's totally fair. Like I said, some people, she's the fan after all. That is totally fair and also very cool of her. But also, yeah, exactly. Some people very much want to go into the game, like, not knowing anything about what to expect. And, like, full respect for wanting to maintain that experience as best as you can, so. I feel like in that case I feel like anyone who's here is okay with spoilers of, like, what we know so far. Because I feel like knowing that, it says in the title of the stream, we're doing Silksong art today, I feel like you can reasonably expect that there may be elements that might spoil possible gameplay. This is not probable gameplay. This is me conjecturing something whimsical based on a bit of footage. I'm actually going to mute the mic for a second because I'm real sneezy. One moment, please. Okay, and we are back. Sorry about that. Oh, Sammy, it says, lol, didn't even read the title. I just jumped in. Goes to show the trust I have. Aww. Well, thank you for trusting me and my content, I guess. Thank you for that. It's nice to see you. I hope you're having a lovely Thursday. I hope you've had a good week so far. I've been enjoying seeing your Sailor Moon painting on Instagram. If you don't know, Sammy Ann is a fellow artist, and she has done a series of paintings using tea as her medium of the sailors from Sailor Moon, but as mermaids. It's a wonderful series, and you should go check it out. Anyways, but yes. Oh, this is so goofy. But I kind of love it. This is so stupid. Working on packing up for a show this week. It's nice to have an art friend on. Aw, thank you, Sammy Ann. Here's Hornt in this fully canonical scene from Hollow Knight Silksong, which definitely happens in the game. My uncle works at Nintendo, and he told me that this happens in Silksong. Oh my gosh. Is this like a universal experience that everyone has that friend? Like, especially if you're of sort of millennial age like me, who grew up in, like, the 80s and the early 90s, having that friend who was like, yeah, my uncle works for Nintendo, and so, like, he said that this is gonna happen. And yeah, I got, like, 5 Game Boys, because my uncle works at Nintendo, and it's like, how does everyone know someone whose uncle works at Nintendo? Like, okay. Okay there, Dustin, sure. Anyways. Meanwhile, I had, like, an uncle who ran, like, not quite an insurance company, but something to do with, like independent risk assessments or something, but not exactly that. I don't know. No one could ever get a straight answer about what exactly he does. I think it was something very complicated and really hard to explain and understand if you didn't, like, work in the land of insurance, I feel like, because I still don't know what he did for a living. And that's not nearly as exciting as my uncle works for Nintendo. I had another uncle who worked for a a magazine, like a specialist magazine about model railways. And he's really into trains, loves trains. Excellent dude, really loves trains. Had, like, an entire model railway in his basement. It was so cool. It was so cool. Like, as kids, we loved the model railway in my uncle's basement. It was the raddest thing. And if there were interesting trains scheduled to go by on the railroad tracks closest to our house, if he was visiting our house, he'd go out and train spot during the visit to see the trains. He got the train kind, says Casa. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And I have another uncle who works for a major supermarket chain, which is pretty cool. Prior to this job, he worked for another major supermarket chain for many years that closed, sadly. But, you know, thanks to his many years of experience in the industry, got a job with another one that still exists. But the cool thing about that is that one time he was in an advert for the aforementioned previous major supermarket chain. And when it came on TV, we were like, oh my god! Oh no, that guy! It was so cool. Anyways. An excellent man. Oh, geez. I'm like, okay, this is done. I didn't do the ding gosh dang line weight on Hornet's poncho. I was just fully gonna, there's always something. There's always, like, one element of any painting that I very nearly forget to do. Every single time. I don't know how, but I always almost forget to add something. And this time was no different. So here we are. There we go. All right. Now she's done. It is a hornet. I have, like, one supermarket chain that comes to mind. I don't want to dox my uncle's current job, so I'm not going to tell you, like, who he works for. But yeah. I loved the shop, like the shops of the company that he worked for previously. They were cool, but I think they were, like, an old school kind of cool. And that's why they kind of fell out of favor with consumers. But they were very cool. Anyways, yeah. Anywho. Casa says, for a while I could say I worked for Thomas the Tank Engine. And my sister worked with Hello Kitty, so we're cool, I guess. That's really cool. What can I say? I don't think this is going to, I don't know if this is going to resonate with people who aren't Canadian, but I did used to work with the Paper Bag Princess. So that's cool in a Canadian way. Specifically, there's a certain public library system in Ontario where you can still find merchandise that I designed featuring the Paper Bag Princess. So, yeah. I don't know if they're still selling the tote bags, but, like, they've definitely have been. Anyways, Sammy Ann says, get out. That is cool in a Canadian way. Yay! Awesome. Thank you. And also, man, I wonder, I don't want to ask what working with Thomas the Tank Engine was like, you know, whether or not he was a cool person to work with, but I am also super curious, but, like, you know, that's, I won't ask what it was like, but also I'm super curious. I'm nosy, but also boundaries. Anyway, so that's Hornet. Yay. My wife gets to say she worked with the Flying Nun and Ben Wyatt, says Rex. That's cool. That's very cool. I mean, I guess if we're getting into the entertainment industry, I was on a Russell T Davies show. If that counts. I also got to once watch Les Dennis get punched in the face repeatedly. Anyways. Sammy Ann says, wait, you made paper bag princess totes that may have been sold via a certain library branch? Digs and Dragon Artifacts. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there are other paper bag princess merch library branches out there, but maybe. I mean, I definitely did design some, but I don't know if there were others out there from other libraries. Anywho, a lot of telling railways that their fat controller needed to retake his fat controller taking training, shipping merch, and hearing a lot of Thomas music, says Casa. That sounds like a wonderful job. I'm gonna post it in your Discord or DM you in Discord. I would love to verify. Sure, go for it. That tea is stone cold. I want to just do like one more element of this piece. And then probably, what did I click on in my, what did I'm trying to find the photo reference that I had on my phone for the junk pit sort of background coloration. Ah! There it is. This is the picture that I was looking for. Okay, wizard. So we're just gonna pop like some vague shapes in the background because they want to be fairly out of focus, I think, and fairly transparent. Though I think maybe the one slightly closer to the foreground can be a little darker. So I'm gonna pick up a smidgen more paint for these. And I'm just gonna add some texture, some details, some wet paint, you know, the usual. You get it. And honestly, that'll kind of do. Rex says, I like the YouTube video where someone overlaid Thomas the Tank Engine with Biggie Smalls. Is that the one? Is that the one where it's like Thomas the Tank Engine and then like the It's Your Birthday song? Because yes, it's perfect. It's weirdly perfect. Anyways. Look at these sleepy friends, says Sammy, and they are friends. They very much are. There's like a country and western version of the Thomas music that is melting my brain. We had to tell a railway that their fat controller wasn't fat enough. And this is years after the rumor they couldn't call him the fat controller anymore. Oh, Biddle boy. That sounds like a very interesting job. Oh my goodness. And now I have the Thomas the Tank Engine music stuck in my head, so love that for me. Do 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 do. Making this darker, just a little darker. Do 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 do. Paint. Do do watercolor paint. Na 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 na. Do 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 do. I'm sorry. I think it's reached that point in the evening where my brain is starting to melt out my ears. Um, we'll get some nice like surface details onto this, probably off stream tomorrow, because this is tomorrow's prompt, which is Junk Pit, and I genuinely couldn't figure out what to paint that was like a reasonable economy of details for it. So I decided to just paint these little shroomlings. Felt like the right call because they're reasonably simple and straightforward, and this is the 31-day daily prompt list, so I'm trying to make things reasonably easy for myself. Like, I have painted no background into the void lighthouse, but I mean, I could conceivably just have these two little guys standing in a void. Hi, Gumby, welcome in. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you. Welcome on in. Anyways. Cassa says there's the fat controller and the thin controller, who's in charge of the narrow gauge railway at the port and court. Really? Oh my gosh. Amazing. I love that. That's so cute. Mark says, hello, I have an important question. Did I miss you playing Mega Man 3 last week? You did. I had a problem getting Hollow Knight to load my save files. It has been fixed, by the way, so we'll be playing Hollow Knight tomorrow. But I did play Hollow Knight 3 last week. Sorry, not Hollow Knight 3. Hollow Knight 2 Silksong is coming out this year. Here's some spoilers for it. But I didn't play Mega Man 3 last week on stream. It went super badly. I was way worse at it than I remember. So bad. Anyways, the VOD is available. If you wanted to see the VOD. Also, hi Mark, how are you doing? It's lovely to see you. Welcome. Oh no. Hollow Knight 3 hype. You heard it here first, folks. Ooh, I wonder who the main character of Hollow Knight 3 would be. We've had, obviously, the little guy. Silksong is Hornet's game. Maybe the third one. I don't know. Who gets to take a turn being the main character? Maybe Zote. Oh, imagine that. Imagine if you had to play as Zote. I feel like... Would people love this, or would they, like, riot? Would they be like, no. I have never wanted anything less, you know? I honestly haven't the foggiest. Truly. Who can say? Okay. Is it time for me to stop futzing with this? Is it time for me to stop futzing? I don't know. I never know when it's appropriate to stop futzing. Dinger, I'll have to check out the VOD because it's one of my favorite games. I love it too, Mark. But oh boy. I was not good at it. It was, oof. It was harder than I remember. Oh, jeez. So yeah, that was fun. No, actually, I put fun in big quotes, but I mean it. It was genuinely very, very fun. But, wow. I was worse at it than I thought I would be. So, you know, that was fun. Anyways. I'll probably futz around with playing more of it, like, by myself off stream. I also part of the reason I think I did so horribly at it is that I didn't realize that I had a dog I could summon for, like, the first 2 hours of stream. It has to be Quirrell, says Gumby. I would love a Quirrell game. I think that would be very, very fun, as well. Like, for sure. Quirrell's just he's such a lovely fellow. So very much I would enjoy having a game that was led by him. What I will say about Mega Man 3 is the music. Every piece of music in that game absolutely heckin' slaps. It's so good. I love the music in it. It's just beautiful. It's incredible. It's an auditory delight. One of my most listened artists on my Spotify Wrapped every year is Capcom Sound Team, specifically for the Mega Man 2 and 3 soundtracks. Poor Rush, says Mark. Aww. Oh, he's a good boy. Very good boy. Rush be like, I'm here, I can help. And I'm like, wait. You've been here the whole time. I'm so stupid. It's been a very long time since I played a Mega Man, and it showed. It really did. But I had a good time, and I hope that folks had a good time witnessing me floundering and failing and floundering, flailing and foundering. My old roommate was a huge Mega Man fan, and he used to play a ton of the original soundtrack. It was so good. That right, Gumby? The music absolutely rocks. It's so good. I love it. I absolutely love it. Just popping some of these weird lines in the background. I'm not. Maybe they're. I think they're pipes because this area is quite near to the waterways, so I suspect this is like a system of pipes and stuff. But some of them just end. Some of them just stop. I don't know what's up with that, but I'm just painting in what I see here, and what I see is a lot of interesting abstract lines. So why not? I'll add them in. Cool beans. There's this kind of one just kind of hanging out like this. So I'll do that. So, okay. I love 2, but 3 and I have a special tormented relationship, says Sammy Ann. I feel like I was better at 2 than 3, but the theme tune from 3 is my favorite piece of, like, any Mega Man soundtrack. It's just so good. It's just so good. I love it so much. If you don't know it, it's just the music is just good, okay? I like it. Just took the pasta bake out of the oven, says Casa. Ooh, now have to wait until it stops being the temperature of the sun before eating. Please wait until it is no longer the temperature of the sun before eating it. I don't want you to, like, burn the skin off of your soft palate. Mark says 3 is like the first game I ever owned where it was like, I wanted it, and I got it, and it wasn't like a game I got on loan from a cousin. That is rad as heck. I think every game that I played up until, like, I don't know, up until, like, well into my adulthood were hand-me-downs from my older sibling. Pasta bake, says Sammy, and I love that for you. Pasta bake sounds really good. I'm cooking some fish this eve. In fact, I should probably go do that very shortly. So I think I might leave it there for today and finish up all the sort of detaily gubbins tomorrow for this. So let's close on looking at this one that's done. Ta-da! Skong, everyone. Are you looking forward to Skong? I hope you're looking forward to Skong. And if you're not looking forward to Skong, that's okay too. I know I'm doing all Hollow Knight art this month, but you know, I do like other things. I just had lunch. You all are helping. Oh no, sorry. All right. So I think that's all I'm gonna do today. And so to that end, shall I see if there's anyone we can do a little raid on? Perhaps someone we have not recently said hello to. Preferably someone who's not just about to finish. That would be good. Yeah. Let's go do a little raid. Clap. It was nice to see y'all. I hope y'all have had lovely, lovely days, lovely times, all that, etc., etc. And who shall we say hi to? Let me just make sure that this person is not just about to finish. Please don't be just about to finish. Okay, they've actually been on for a really long time. I think they might be just about to finish. Shoot, never mind. Okay. Anyways, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow doing some gameplay, playing the Silksong prequel. You might have heard of it. It's called Hollow Knight. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay. Let's go see. Are you just about to? I don't think this person's about to finish. Yay! Okay, fabulous. Let's go say hi then. I've started a raid. Hopefully I've started a raid. I haven't raided, of course, in a while, so that'll be nice. Oh! Mesh wants an affirmation. Shoot! Heck! No! Heck! Oh, jeez. Okay, hold on. Let me grab you an affirmation card real quick before the raid starts. The raid is on its way, but okay. Just gonna pull a random one out of the middle of the deck. Mesh, what are you doing? Anyways, new beginnings, endless possibilities. Amazing. Wonderful. New beginnings, new stream to enjoy. We're on our way. Thank you very much for that. I'll take a sip after the stream. Generic raid message. I gotta go. It's gonna kick us out. So, feel free to grab the emotes if you have the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, feel free to just say generic raid message and append whatever cool emotes that you do have. I am leaving now. We are going. And thank you so much for watching. You're all breathtaking. Hope to see you again soon. I'll be back tomorrow playing Hollow Knight, etc., etc. Thank you. Good night and good luck.